Hi, this is Pris again, and I'm trying to revive some words that God's given me that I know are for the final hour that we're in. So I'm going to share with you a word that I got in 2002 called translations. The Lord said, "The time is at hand for greater faith. Man is not capable in understanding all the ways of God. But there is a need for faith to be released in my people for the greater things that are coming." And then at that time, my thoughts went to a TBN movie where the two witnesses are depicted with being translated from one place to another, and they were able to do that, in a moment. Anyway, he went on and he said, "I am not a God of limitation, but a God of provision, Jehovah Jireh. Even the lack that will come on the earth will not stop my plans for my people. There are people who will experience great translations, and when they are done with what I want them to do in one place, they will be taken to another place, like Philip. You may see this as an out of reach kind of phenomenon, but it will not be out of reach. If I tell you something, I will fulfill my word to you. You must believe that what I say is true and that I am not limited by time or space or your ability to provide anything. You think Peter's shadow falling on people and healing them is an amazing wonder. But I have told you that greater things are coming, and there is much unbelief in my church for even the above. The reason for this is that the American church has become used to what they can do, not what I can do. Unbelief is sin and is prevalent in my church today," he said. I said, "When I return, will I find faith on earth?" I already knew the answer to that. I didn't ask because I didn't know. The unbelief is described in Timothy. That's 2 Timothy chapter 3. Men will be lovers of themselves instead of lovers of God. They will believe in their abilities over my ability. I will confound the wisdom of the wise in their own opinion. Days of glory lie ahead. Do not fear the sabotage and persecution of my church. Miracles are coming, miracles upon miracles. If I send you to a foreign place and there's no food to feed people with, can you believe for a miracle? Or do you think you have to provide? Again, my thoughts went to an article I had read at the time that someone sent me about starvation in a part of Ethiopia. And my brother explored Ethiopia a few times when he was in the army, my foster brother, and he was stationed in Eritrea, which is, right next to it on the sea. So I have a bit of a heart for this nation at that time, and I remembered praying, "God, you are not limited by their poverty. Bring food to them. You're God. You love your children. You don't want them to die." Honest to God, 2 weeks later, another person sent me an article from the Ethiopian newspaper about a town that got showered with fish. It just fell from the skies. It was as if a giant angel went fishing with a net, an invisible net, and then dumped the contents on a town in Ethiopia. What a miracle. I know there were surely others praying, and God answered. God is not limited by our thoughts of how he can work, often what we think is unbelief. God is big, big, big. He can do anything. After all, he made the heavens and the earth. Peter said, if we don't speak, these rocks would cry out, because God is great. He is the only God. We are not God. We can't do anything, We can do nothing, nothing, nothing apart from him. He is not afraid of the men who are plotting vain things and the kings of the earth. He has his own plans, and nothing they can do can stop his work. He is committed to his own plans. Not one jot or tittle will change what is written in Revelation. It will be done. Martyrdom is increasing, but his ways are higher than our ways. We only have to believe. The Greek word, remember, means to put all of our trust in him. People think they have to provide, yet Elijah was fed by angels and ravens. Okay? Our God is not too small, people. We must believe for the greater things if we want to walk in them. Our thinking has to change. We see nuclear fallout as one of the worst possibilities and are afraid, but God the Creator, Elohim, could change the nuclear fallout to nothing. He could blow it all away and make it disappear. He is not limited. He could shield his own from it. In fact, in a vision by A.C. Valdez in 1929, I think it was, it used to be on the Bill Summers site, but if you just Google A.C. Valdez 1929 word, I think you'd find it. There is a vision of exactly that. He was in a vision, and he was standing on the Berkeley Hills in the vision. At the time, he was in the Northwest preaching. And he saw San Francisco hit by a nuclear bomb, and God took him to different levels of the fallout. And in the last place, far away in a safe valley, lush and green, were Christians who had been translated unharmed. Yet we find ourselves sometimes worrying, scurrying, fretful about events to come. Fear not. Fear him who is able to cast your soul in him, in hell. Fear, ha, 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 ha. Him you shall hallow, him you shall fear. He who is mighty will do mighty things in the days ahead. Lay all fear to rest. Bask in his arms of love right now. Ask for his love that casts down all fear to surround you and your loved ones. God will rend the heavens and come down for those who love him with abandonment. And that's the end of the word. God bless you guys.